Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Making 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 9 of What If Naruto was created by the Otsutsuki clan. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in social media platform. And also go ahead and check out the brand new series over on Animaking 2 of What If Naruto was recreated by the Shinigami. And enjoy that guys. And yes, if you're new, I indeed have 3 channels. Animaking 2, and Making 3, which I post what if fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you, so yeah. Without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this new episode start? The intro. So the last spot we left off, Otsutsuki was watching on the monitor. As he was a man, his eyes were just the same as Naruto because this was him before they had stripped his body away. He was meant to be a being of pure death and destruction. After all, that was his name. He was created for the sole purpose of eradicating enemies of the Otsutsuki. As they had gone from planet to planet absorbing and placed in the trees after absorbing the entire planet. Some of these beings from said planets had the ability to flee before they were killed. So they did not take it lightly, as they wanted the Otsutsuki's dead. So with the permission from Momoshiki and a few of the other higher ups, he was able to work with extensive DNA that belonged to Shibai Otsutsuki, the former god of the Otsutsuki clan. The man that was said to transcend his entire being to become something, well, something they couldn't really comprehend. A perfect being. That was what all of them wanted in the first place, to become perfect. As Ozo noticed that someone must have been spying on him for the past thousands of years now. Learning his routine, learning everything about the way he stored his things, so they could break into his lab and free that abomination. The only reason why they were able to stop him last time was because of the girl, as they used her life as a bargaining chip to stop Naruto. He cared for her, and he knew that she would give her life up to make sure he was fine, but he wouldn't do that. He'd want her to live, so he gave his life up as they ripped him to pieces. But they could not extinguish him. His soul was still intact. They had created him a weapon that was unable to be destroyed. He was never meant to have a soul or even emotions, just a being of death and destruction for them to use. But through time he started to adapt and change. That was the problem, he could adapt to almost anything. There wasn't anything that he couldn't adapt to. So he started changing the person that he was right now. And for that they had to have him destroyed. But he will find him soon, as he was getting close to find a way to track him down. Meanwhile that was going on, the Akatsuki had no idea exactly what happened within Konoha, as they couldn't really explain it Zetsu or no one, that the tailed beasts from the 1, the 4, the 5, and the 9 tails was protecting the village. It made no sense. However, the nations were afraid. Oniki spoke to Kurosaki. She wanted to become Tishikage one day, as he was genuinely needing her, well, prospect on the whole thing. So he said that he should apologize and pay the ransom that he asked for. Because if he did not, with the power that Konoha hold right now, they could possibly destroy the Hidden Stone. Minato became deadly serious as he had to make a move, tapping into his, well, inner darkness, if one might say, because he was never really a violent person, but he had to show the other nations that Konoha was still as strong as ever. So he had to put a big threat. Same for the Sun as well. He was keeping them at arm's length for the moment, but they were tricked into this, but they still went along with destroying Konoha. And if he had forgotten that easily, Danzo would be saying that he was, well, not fit for his job. Not that he would care, but The situation was correct. Things didn't pan out that well when you were too soft, judging by the attacking Konoha. So Oniki came to the agreement to accept the agreement that Konoha asked for, a large, massive sum. The Slan had to do the same. Jirei came by, after Naruto was being watched the entire time, as they wouldn't let him go on any missions. The situation was tense right now. Even in Kiri they overheard that, as Meitorume was surprised that someone possessed such power. That was impossible, correct? But no, it seems like it was true. He would be a great help in the civil war that was currently plaguing them at the moment. Meanwhile, Jirei came and took Naruto towards Mount Miyaboku. Upon arriving there, the Great Elder told him that something would be coming. Something dangerous. As Naruto knew exactly what he was talking about. Naruto was afraid. He wasn't afraid of the Otsutsukis, he was afraid of being captured once again. He didn't want to be locked in a capsule. He really hated that. He's been in there for years. And his mind was awake the entire time as he couldn't do anything but stay in there. But luckily, he was able to just calm himself and go into a state of, well, calmness. Like how bears hibernate, but still, he was still aware of what he was and where he was, and it was horrible. And he knew that if they came here, they would try to threaten his new family. It made him got up in tears as Jirei told him that everything would be fine. They have his back no matter what it was to come. His mother then came by rather angrily as Naruto wanted to know what was going on. She told him to ask his father, who proceeded to tell him that the Sand and the Cloud want to make a marriage proposal between Naruto and Menma. Now that was shocking, as Naruto wondered who were the girls. So yeah guys, that's basically what I thought. If you guys can switch across the place and check it for yourself, and also remember to stay tuned for the rest of what's coming your way, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we jump right into the new episode? Begin now. We begin this episode in Kiri. The land of the mist has been in a civil war for the past couple of years. At the moment though, the Mizukage, he had purple eyes, grayish hair, as he had a headband on his stomach. He also had a staff with a flower on it. He was wearing grey armor, with a green robe, and also a green scarf as well. Someone stood in front of him. The person was obviously angry. They're people. They're human beings. How can you justify what you're doing? They're monsters. Abominations, the Mizukage said. They should be wiped out. Can you really stand there and believe that what you're saying is actually correct? Do you really believe that you are justified to do this? To your own people as well? How much have you slaughtered? How much have you sent to death? And you call these people a monster? The Mizukage raised his staff. I am done speaking with you, he said. All you've done so far is annoy me over and over again. You think that just because you have a bit of power, and that you carry a name, just because your father is a Furtokage, that coming here was wise. No, that's not it. The reason I came here was because they asked for my help. The things that you're doing is just gone too far. And with the manpower that you possess, they can't overrun you. So I've offered my help. I am fully aware to take all the consequences if I do fail in taking you down. I'm willing to bet my life on that. Why? Said Yagura, for people who you do not even know. The person glanced up toward the sky. As rain started to fall. You will never understand why I do this. Nor do I think that you would care. And I'm done talking. I won't allow you to kill another single person. Yagura slammed his hook staff in the ground. Let's see you stop me, he said. As a person, none other than Naruto Namikaze looked at him. His blonde hair had grown out a bit longer. With a patch of red in it, it went down towards his back. He was around 6 feet tall right now, wearing a black shirt, long sleeve under the red armor that was situated on him, with the Uzumaki crest on it, as his mother had made especially for him. It was a material of her chakra chains, so it was quite durable. Black pants with high boots, He had a sword on his back. The handle was crimson, dark crimson. The sheath was black. He was wearing two black gloves on his hands, with metal plating. As he took his sword off his back and pointed towards Yagura. Yagura wasted no time as he moved, arriving at Naruto within seconds, showing the speed of a Kage. As Naruto brought his blade around and clashed with the man. "Don't let your arrogance fool you, child. I will crush you no matter what the rumors are," said Yagura, as he twisted and brought his hook staff down. The force cracked the ground underneath Naruto. He then proceeded to use the other end to hook Naruto's feet and pull him, causing the blonde to flip in mid-air. It was at that point Yagura turned and brought the staff around, but Naruto twisted himself and used his blade to block, as sparks fly between them. But Yagura had the better standing because he was standing, and Naruto was in mid-air. That allowed him to flash through one-handed seals. "Water style," he said. "Water bullet!" Naruto brought his hand in front of his face. As the attack slammed into him and threw him away. He flipped several times in mid-air before he came to a final stop, his feet picking up a lot of dust and debris. Yagura wasted no time as the man pulled the water from the air. His manipulation over water was as great as the second Hokage, and not to mention the rain falling. His water was seemingly unlimited. The water formed a massive, three-headed dragon. "Water release. Serpent of death," he said. The thing rushed towards Naruto. The first head came towards him as Naruto's blade started to glow, before he sliced the thing. The chakra seemed to dissipate for the first head, but the other two released water balls from their mouths, forcing him to backpedal and jump away, right into Yagura's trap as Yagura appeared above him. "And now you die," he said. He brought the hook staff down with such force. The place exploded. But when the smoke and dust cleared, Naruto stood there, as his blade was holding up the hook staff. "I refuse to die," said Naruto. "Not until I accomplish what I set out to do. And not until I take you down. You think you can stop me? You utter, pathetic fool. I say it once again, you let your fame get to your head. Well then, demon of Konoha, let's see you take me down." "With pleasure," said Naruto. Yagura saw Naruto twist. He jumped back as he waited for the attack. Naruto moved, crater in the ground as he did. Hook staff and blade clashed, creating a massive spark. Yagura was surprised and Naruto started to push him back. He started to push back with raw strength, but found that he could not budge Naruto. That was when Naruto raised his hand as the entire place lit up in a bright light, blinding Yagura for a few seconds. A flash, Yagura thought. He sensed as he turned and slashed through the mid-air, but he hit nothing. That was when he felt a fist connect with his jaw. All sense of reasoning left him at that moment, as the punch was heavy. Blood spurted out of his mouth. Naruto flashed above him and brought down his heel. The feet crushed into Yagura's shoulder, dropping him like a bomb. As he hit the ground, Naruto raised his hand in mid-air as he created a Rasengan, before he brought it down. Yagura rolled out of the way just in time as the Rasengan tear right into the earth. Yagura then turned as he swung the hook staff, as Naruto brought his hand up. He blocked it with his raw hand. Now that confused and shocked Yagura. He refused to drop to those rumors. He refused to believe that this child was unstoppable. He would take him down, he was simply a child. Yagura proceeded to jump back as he conjured up his strongest water attack. "Colossal colliding shower," he said, as he started to fire and form many balls in the air. All of them were a tiny water droplet, but when they were grouped up together, the water started literally hardening, as they started to become so tough. When one of them hit the ground, it pierced right through it. "Now," said Yagura, "let's see you survive this," as he dropped both of his hands. The attack brought down a broad death and destruction with it, causing the entire place to just root up. The place was blown and torn apart. That is when Yagura saw Naruto's hand up, a golden spear protecting him. As Naruto proceeded to lift the spear and move, evading every single water droplet, something that shouldn't even be possible. It wasn't that he was going through them, he was blinking out of reality in front of Yagura. His speed so fast that Yagura could not keep track on him, even with his eyes looking directly at him. As Naruto appeared in front of him and grabbed him by the face, before proceeding to slam his knee into his nose, shattering it. Yagura staggered back. He reached for his hook staff, but Naruto flipped and landed right on the tip of it. He then proceeded to grab Yagura by the shirt, lifting him along lifting the hook staff so the both of them were in mid-air. Naruto then dropped his heel in the man's stomach, causing a cry of pain as he broke the ground. Naruto then brought his hand up, as the momentum of his hand started to glow, and glow and glow and glow, until it became so bright the light was unseeable to Yagura as he had to close his eyes. Even his eyes closed, it was still unnerving. He was about to release the power of the sandby, but he could not, as Naruto slammed his hand into his stomach. Just by that mere slam, the entire place shook with a violent outburst. Everything shook. The whole village of Kira shook. The mist in the air dispersed, the wind stopped blowing for a few seconds. The rain came to a complete stop as it was blown away, the clouds ceasing to be there anymore. Yagura's body was battered. His entire body was forced into the earth, his arms pushed deep down. He was still alive though, but just badly bruised and unconscious. He wouldn't be waking up anytime soon. It was then that Naruto placed his hand on his stomach, before he extended his right hand forward. The chakra out of Yagura traveled through Naruto. As they started to form, it formed and formed and formed and formed until it turned into a massive beast. The Three Tails. Yagura was not dead, as Naruto cut off some of the chakra to keep him alive. He deserved to be punished by the people of Kira for what he did. He deserved to pay for his crimes. The Three Tails then saw Naruto as he started to lash out with his tails to kill Yagura included. Naruto grabbed the man and moved him. The Three Tails turned and gathered a ball of water and shot it towards Naruto. Raising his hand, Naruto slapped it away as it crashed into the ground, destroying it. As Naruto's hand was glowing golden, several golden chains shot from his palm and grabbed the Three Tails, subduing it and bringing it towards him. As Naruto felt a disturbance in his chakra, he then proceeded to grip onto the Three Tails' head and rip that portion of chakra out. The beast blinked a few times. "Where am I? Who are you?" he said. "I freed you from Yagura." "You freed me from my prison. Why? And who are you?" "You truly don't know who I am. Why were you attacking me?" "I don't remember." "But you, do you want to capture me now?" asked the standby, as he sounded quite docile. "No," as he knew that he could not move. "Are you gonna hurt the people of Kira?" "All I want to do is to sleep in the many oceans." "But they will not allow me." "Will you fight me as well?" "No, but I can't let you go either." "Why not?" "There is someone after you, an organization to be exact. They're known as the Akatsuki. They're taking you and sealing you somewhere. And I'm sure that wherever they seal you is going to be a lot worse than being sealed inside of him," said Naruto. "I don't know what happened between you or him for you not to remember, but if I were to let you go right now, I would just be giving you over to them, which is not fair for you or anyone else." As the Three Tails seemed thrown at that, the human chains had subdued him as he could not even relinquish them. He didn't even feel his ability to use his powers anymore. He couldn't even tap into his chakra. And the Three Tails was a lot more docile than most of the tail beasts. After all, the standby just wanted to be left alone. "But you matter," said Naruto. "I have a way of letting you sleep. You can rest, and you won't be bothered by anyone. I will have to absorb you." "Absorb me?" Standby said. "It's not as bad as it sounds. I will use a different method. I will place you inside of me, where you will be forever content, able to relax. It won't be a cell or a prison. As Naruto moved forward, I will show you. He tapped the sandbar in the forehead. It was then that the beast saw himself in a massive, serene lake area. Where are we? This is where I will send you. If you agree to my proposal, you clearly have the ability to absorb me without even my consent, judging that your chains are unbreakable, it seems. Why do you ask? Why do you care? I believe that everyone has a right to an opinion, said Naruto. That is why I'm asking yours. Do you want to go there? He asked. The standby looked around. Are you sure you weren't tricking me to lock me up? I'm not, said Naruto. The standby couldn't understand why, but he felt this human was not lying. He didn't really trust humans, but this one was different. And if this organization was true, he didn't want to be sealed away somewhere bad once again. Fine. Promise me now that you will seal me here, in this ravine, in this location. I will. Do you accept? The standby nodded, as he found himself inside the ravine, not an illusion. Did you already do it? Yes. It's yours now. You can relax. I also made you some friends, said Naruto as he glanced over. It was then that the standby saw several other turtles. They looked towards him. He looked back towards Naruto. What are they? They're like you, said Naruto. They can talk. So you won't be bored all the time. Don't worry. This isn't some illusion, trust me. It's real, said Naruto, as he poked him. How can a human like you possess the ability to do something like this? What are you? Well, I'm a special human, said Naruto. I have to go now. There's a lot more I have to do. I hope you have a good time. I hope so as well. Thank you, human. As Naruto nodded his head and left, the standby turned his head as he looked at all the others. They looked like they were families with him, like he was their brothers and sisters. He made his way over towards the water as he sunk into it. He was finally free to just relax. No one bothered him anymore. In the real world, meet Karumi, a woman with burgundy hair, was rushing over as she was in a blue dress that allowed her full mobility to battle. She looked a bit scuffed up, as she was ahead of the group that was coming with her. Naruto, are you alright? She asked. Yes, I'm fine. She looked down. Is he? No, he's not dead. He's alive. He is? What about? I did what I said Naruto. But he's still alive. She was not going to question how that was possible. After all, finding to know this person more and more, she realized that he made the impossible possible. As a small smile broke on her face. You're telling me after all these years, it's finally done. Well, it's gonna be a bit rougher on the edges, but I can say yeah, it's done. As a tear started to flow down her face, he knew that she was tired of it all, and finally, she was free. It was then that Naruto saw Menma as well, as he looked perfectly fine. Is the rest of it handled? Said Naruto. Yes. I see that you had this covered. I told you, said Naruto as he looked down towards Yagura. As May smiled. Having them come here was like a gift sent from Kami itself, as she doubted that he would have finished so quickly without them. She was eternally grateful. Time skip. Returning back to Konoha after a few weeks. Stepping into the village, both boys were well known. Menma had grown a bit as well, as he was currently 5'11", just a bit shorter than Naruto. He didn't grow his hair out though, he had cut it. Shorter than even his father. The two bangs were not in his face anymore either, as he preferred the short hair. Reason, well, he never defined the actual reason. He was also wearing an armor, but his was a more darker color than Naruto's. And he was wearing a dark blue shirt underneath, black pants, and open-toe sandals. Everywhere they walked, people started to look towards them, as the both boys were quite recognizable. It has been 3 years since the whole scuffle with the Sand and the Sound. 3.5 years to be exact. A few months had passed by recently. A lot has happened in the village and outside in the elemental nation. Making their way towards the Hokage's office. Seeing them step in, Minato had a smile on his face. I was sent a briefing from the new Mizukage Meiterumi that we will have our talks once the village is up in proper standards, which will not take too long given the both of you putting in so much work there, giving Konoha more favor in this upcoming agreement between us and Kirin. You both did wonderful work. As both of them nodded towards their father, a lot has happened over the past 3.5 years. Naruto was currently a double S-class ninja. There was a flea on sight order at his name. The information about him having tail beasts under his control was spread even more, and now people believed that he could just summon them at will, which he could. Menma had pushed himself up to a S-rank ninja at the moment. Yes, it seems like it would be impossible for him to grow that much over just 3.5 years. But Menma was always the one to take his training beyond seriously. And knowing that his brother would surpass him so much, well, he would not allow that. Naruto's true rank was undefined, because no one knew how actually strong he was. They just saw glimpses of his true power. No one knew what he can actually do. But so far, some fleet on-side order were on his name, because of things that he has done in the elemental nation, the changes that he had brought forth. For one thing, with the death of Orochimaru, Minato had created a group to scan and find all of his bases originating from the world. But someone had taken over his operation. Some of the bases had been ransacked and cleaned out completely. Up until this point, they couldn't understand who was the leader, but someone had gathered the remaining Zone forces and left, and take over, as they were now in charge. The power balance in the world is still at a critical high. Konoha has proven to be more than strong enough to take on the entire world by itself. Well, with Naruto, with the tail beasts that he had. The agreement to help him out Kira was for Naruto to take the 3 tails, because if he had killed Yagura, the beast would have died. But that was the agreement that Minato made, because they didn't have much to offer him. And the reason why he made this agreement was because Akatsuki was on the loose. An organization that was hell-bent on capturing all the tail beasts. They were a mercenary organization for what they wanted. It wasn't a good thing. Given that Minato had overheard the prophecy, he was taking keen example of all threats around him and neutralized them before they could grow big. So he proceeded to have Naruto take the tail beasts. Naruto had slowly relinquished most of his power over the years. Not give them up, but show them to his family over the way. Show them that he's got control over it. To show them that he was getting stronger. And to also be able to produce one of the tail beasts every now and then. He no longer had to tap into rage, as he told them. That was a lie from the beginning, because he could release his power at all times. But he just didn't want to tell them what he was. But they have come to accept that he was an unknown power that he was gifted with. As he still felt bad about lying to them, but he had to. But things were playing out quite well. Fathers and son talked for a few moments, as Naruto had taken the power of the standby. At the moment, he was able to stabilize them. He had made a lie telling them that he didn't know how to make them back into what they were. That means he didn't know how to give them back a physical form. They were hoping that he could fix that before, well, he get too old. The next generation, if Naruto was to die one day, and the chakra was to just explode out of him, all the tail beasts would be brought back. And that wouldn't be good for them to just be on the run like that. The nations would not take it lightly, and there would be a war to capture them. So he made up the lie that he was thinking of a way, or trying to control these new powers of his, to bring them back in their physical form. After the meeting with his father, as they both made their way, Menma had something else to do, so he parted, saying that he would visit the house very soon. As Naruto made his way, upon arriving, he entered said house. The moment he entered, something rushed towards him and crashed into his arms. He picked her up and threw her up in the air, making her giggle. "Big brother, you're back," she said, as he looked toward his tiny little sister. Her name was Katsumi Namikaze. His mother was adamant on having another child, which she currently had at the moment. They all loved their little sister, the new addition to their family. She was quite young, but she was advanced for her age. She may slur her words every now and then, but she was quite an inquisitive and smart child. As Naruto placed her on his shoulders, "Where's mom?" he asked. She went out. She said that she'll be back soon. Big sister here though. As Naruto made his way and turned to see Mito as she sat at the table. "You're finally back. I take it that things went well," she said, with a smile on her face. "Yes," said Naruto. "Things did went well. What about you?" She smirked. "What do you expect?" she asked. Mito was also growing as well, as she has become quite the beauty, tall and attractive as well. She had to literally beat the guys away with a stick. There was many of them within Konoha that was just gushing over her. She was the daughter of the fourth Hokage and the Red Hot Habanero. The family and the bloodline that she came from. Yes, there was many of them. But there was someone that she was already interested into, so she didn't really pay them any mind. As Naruto sat with his sister and spoke, his baby sister moving up and down, as she was joining the conversation every now and then, even though sometimes she brought up nonsense. But Naruto and Mito simply found it cute. "Where is mom?" said Naruto. "She's off with your soon-to-be wife." "Where?" said Naruto. "It seems that they're up to something. They didn't want to bring me." "Why?" said Naruto. "Doesn't that sound strange?" "Yes, I know. But you know mom, she's always planning things behind her back. She's up to something. And not to mention your wife is quite the mischievous one." "Yeah, I know what you mean," said Naruto as he scratched the back of his head. "She was always pulling something, always trying to just make things more fun. But the fact that they did not bring you, they're definitely up to something." "Yeah, I know what you mean," said Mito. At that very moment, the door opened up. "We're back," as 3 people entered the house. 2 of them being blonde, 1 of them being a redhead. The one in the center was none other than Kushina, as one of them was Temari, the other one was Yujito. Temari, the soon-to-be wife of Menma. They were placed in a political marriage for the beneficial for the San and Konoha. At first, Kushina was against this, but as the time went on, she slowly started to get more adapted to the idea after meeting both girls. Both of them were incredibly polite. Konoha as the most sane in this, so the 2 girls were brought to Konoha. There are a lot of things that were speculated, but over time, Menma and Naruto came to care for them. They have been here for the past 3.5 years. There was a bit tension at first, with Kushina not liking, well, either of them, and that led to a bit of argument, sometimes leading me not to sleep on the couch. Well, a lot of times. But you know how she gets. She always gets fired up. After all, here she was now treating them like they were her best friends, her daughters-in-law. It was rather strange at first, seeing that Naruto was the one that killed Gaara. He had apologized to Temari and Kankuro, as he never meant to kill their brother, but in the state that he was in, he couldn't spare him. As at first it was rather complicated, as Naruto told him that they didn't need to talk to him or anything, as he knew that they hate him, so he gave them their space. But strangely over time, it started to become easier, to the point where they could stand each other in the room, and to the point where they started to speak and even become friends. After all, Temari now live here. Kankuro came by every now and often to visit. After all, he was the Kazekage. He was next in the line as he had taken over as a Kazekage. Temari could not because she was married off. But the San has been at peace with Konoha ever since. Ino didn't take the news that well that Naruto was getting married off. She's always liked him. As much as Naruto cared for her, he didn't like her that way. But there was something about Yujito. And not to mention with what she said to him at the hospital. It was from there he got to like her. And the both of them start to actually go on dates. And things start to work out between them. At first she was worried about Remy, thinking that there would be problems, that Remy was in love with Naruto, but it was far from it. They were just actually close friends. Remy actually liked Shikamaru. They had been on multiple missions together. After all, they were on the same team. But when they both became Chunins, they started to go on missions with each other. And something just clicked between them. And the two of them just connected. She often berated him for being lazy and all, but she cared for him a lot and he do for her as well. Although he sometimes just actively seek to piss her off by being that lazy. It had took a while for Naruto to regain a semblance of friendship back with Ino, as she didn't, want to talk to him at first. But they became friends in the end. Because she fell for Sasuke hard. And Mikoto loved her. So everything was good there. "What are you guys up to?" said Naruto. "What are you talking about?" said Kushina. "Yeah, honey. What are you talking about?" said Yujito. "Well, why didn't you bring Mito along?" "Oh, baby girl," said Kushina. "I didn't mean to exclude you or anything. It's fine, Mom. But I know you're up to something." "I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about," Kushina said. "Oh, you don't?" "Nope." "So, how was the mission?" she asked. "Fine," both brother and sister said. As Kushina looked at them. "You really not gonna tell us?" said Naruto. "I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about," she said once again. As Naruto turned towards Temari, who looked to his side as she was whistling. "You too." "Somehow I feel like you're more involved than everyone else," said Naruto as he looked towards Yujito. She placed a hand towards her chest. "To not trust your loving future wife. I'm hurt. I'm really hurt." As she walked over, "How can you say that to me?" "You can cut the act," said Naruto. "I know you good enough by now to know when you're lying." As she placed a hand to her chest, as she rushed off crying fake tears. As the two other girls left as well. "What are they up to?" said Naruto. "Well, it's something big. They're keeping it well hidden." "Seems that way." As Minma arrived, "Do you know what is going on with Mom, Temari, and Yujito?" "I saw them at the market area, and they were acting strange." "What do you mean?" "Well, when they saw me, they ran away." "Really? They ran?" "Yeah. They're up to something. Just what I said, but I don't know exactly what it is." Time skip. I was able to witness it with my own eyes. The voice of Zetsu came. He was able to absorb the power of the three tails out of him. While I was not there exactly, I saw him fighting him from a distance. And once he fought him and he was finished, Yagura no longer contained the three tails. It was just completely gone. Did he absorb it into his body? Asks. The hologramic form of his leader. I am not sure. But if he does, that means he now is in control of the one, the two tail with her being directly wedded to him in the future, even though she's still with her own host. The three tails, the 4 and the 5 that he took from the hidden stone, and the 9 tails as well. What can we do? The time has passed to go after the other tail beast, because it will make no difference if we take the others and we don't have what he has. We need to remove them from Naruto Uzumaki. If he does have a seal strong enough to hold them, it will be better for us just to absorb all of them at once. But what if he doesn't have them inside of him? He was always a strange child. I mean, he did things that no other child should be capable of doing at his age. I know, but still we have to find a way. I will not let this simple child get in the way of my plans. It is time to end this once and for all. What do you mean? We're going to Konoha. All of us? Yes, all of us. Time skip. The group had no luck to find out what they were up to, as Naruto was currently in bed. He had moved into one of the many houses within the compound. It was large enough to house many people after all. After all, they wanted some privacy. They were adults now, no longer children. As Yujito walked in, she was always doing this. They have known each other for 3.5 years now, and she always found a way to entice him somehow. She was wearing a rather loose undergarment as she strutted over towards him, walking in a rather seductive way. "Hello, my darling," she said. As Naruto looked her up and down, He couldn't help but get a small blush in his face. She smirked herself, of course she still got it, as she crawled into bed beside him. "So you aren't going to tell me what you and my mom are up to," said Naruto. "I'm afraid I have no idea what you're talking about," she said, as she scratched him on the cheek playfully. For some reason she liked doing that ever since the first time she scratched him, as she snuggled up on his chest. "You know the time is coming up very soon," she said. "And once it is past, you cannot pull out of this. We're gonna get married. You know, at first I find you weird and obsessive," said Naruto. Her eye twitched at that, as he started to chuckle a bit. "But you've grown on me. And I actually found myself looking forward towards our wedding a long time ago." She smiled. "Me too," she said. "The time has been wonderful. You promised not to change after we get married, to become an ass or something," she said. "Come on, how long have you known me for?" said Naruto. "Do you really believe I'll do something like that? And why would I?" "Well, you are one of the most famous men in the world. I believe your popularity even surpassed your father. There is hundreds, maybe thousands of girls out there that would want to rip your pants off. And I know that marriage sometimes gets stressful, and sometimes husbands can decide to drink and do something stupid. With me having someone as sexy," as he wrapped his arm around her and pulled her into a kiss, "as you," he said after breaking a kiss, "you would never even see me thinking about another woman." "I'm flattered," she said. "You're not so bad looking yourself," she said, that smirk, as Naruto chuckled a bit. "You seem to have something on your mind." She always were able to figure him out. He didn't know if they had some mental link or something, but she just can't do that. As Naruto felt uneasy. Everything has been calm. Yes, that was a strange part. Things didn't remain calm for too long. There was always some chaos, some problem. He still didn't know who was in charge of Orochimaru operation, or what they were even planning. It was just... yeah, it was a lot. But he'd protect his family and his friends with every fiber of his being. At the moment though, Otsutsuki has never been happy than now in his entire life. The upper heads that had lost many members in the attack on Naruto wanted him dead. They wanted his head to be placed on a platter for making Naruto escape. Well, they didn't know him by that name, they just called him Death. They wanted his head on a platter for making Death escape. To them that was a stupid, critical error that they would not allow. The only reason why he was alive was because Momoshiki vouched for him. Momoshiki did not care one bit about him, but he was the only one that could find him. And if they were to end his existence now, well, they wouldn't be able to find him. Momoshiki had no idea what that Abominations was out there doing in the world. After all, he was one of the few that put him in his place every time he decided to speak out. And he was sure that the Abomination hate him if he decided to ever target him. Well, he just wanted to tie up any loose ends that he might have. That is why he had Ozo keep on working. And it took a while, but Ozo was finally able to track the power residue of Naruto leaving the planet. He was able to track it far out through the stars. It took him a long while, but it was leading towards a distant planet. From all regards, this planet should have no life force on it. But somehow it was still flourishing, as he didn't quite understand. As he wondered if there was 2 officers that were sent here before to estimate the planet. But it didn't seem that way. After all, the planet would have been dried by now. Something didn't add up. 2 of their members had gone missing or dead. Kaguya, who was supposed to be the sacrifice. There was also Ishiki as well. They have no idea what happened to them. To be killed by another is a disgrace for Otsutsuki, given their raw, untapped power without even training. So yes, it was quite a disgrace. But still, they were lost. Momoshiki believed that he had betrayed the clan, and thus wanted them to die. Most of the upper heads agree with him. Kaguya was always a strange one. She never seemed to like their tradition, or what they strive for. But still, they didn't really care. Because they didn't really care that much about each other. He noticed that Akira was going down the same path that Kaguya went down. She was showing more and more disinterest in her name. The name Otsutsuki. If she was to betray this place, she would also die. But he knew that sooner or later she would do that. But the thing was, he wasn't planning on letting her live. She was the entire reason why his specimen failed. She was the entire reason why he gained emotions. As we speak, he was currently working on a way to neutralize her and use her to how he see fit. After all, he couldn't have her warn in the monster that they were coming, as he was currently working on something big that will have him complete control once he was done with it. But yes, she will be eliminated. He has already spoken to a few of the higher heads about this. Because of their fear of death, they would sacrifice anything to get rid of death. They saw his power last time and they fear it. And Ozo was the only one that knew how to directly control him. And he also lied and said that he knew how to destroy him. But he would not use him to destroy him instead. He found a way. As Ozo chuckled to himself. Yes, he found a way to even the playing field. Did they really think that all he's been working on was just to help them alone? As he said in the beginning, the Otsutsukis did not really care much for each other. Especially the ones that were lower rank, and he was a lower rank. Just a mere scientist, treated like filth. As he made his way to find Urashiki to scout out the planet, he couldn't be wrong because if he was, Momoshiki would not take it lightly. But still, once the time comes, he will be the one that will be in charge. He will be the one that was at the top. He will become the next Otsutsuki god. Time skip, Elemental Nation. At Konoha, it was a rather peaceful day. The world was basically at peace because of the deterrent that Naruto posed, so there wasn't much to go on. Things were calm, yes, but they were still missions. But at the moment though, the Akatsuki was making their move. The first person to enter the village was none other than Nagato himself. The barrier core sensed it almost instantly, but Nagato only need time for the summoning path to release and get out of the village, so he would not be caught up in the explosion. Said summoning path had summoned Tendo right in center of the village. As the information was quickly sent towards Minato. Upon getting there, Minato had made his way out. As he put on his coat, feared that his village was being invaded. He would not allow something like that, as he wondered who had the balls to step in his village right now. And try something like that. How stupid was this person? Upon arriving toward the scene, Minato came across a man floating above the village. As the path had exit and was making his way toward the others, Konoha watches all of them drop to the ground as he was using a lot of energy. The rest of the Akatsuki members are there, all of them are gathered. They had one goal in mind, to reduce Konoha to dust and kidnap the child. It was the only way. Nagato will handle the 4th Hokage while the rest of the S-class criminal take him on. He couldn't beat all of them at once, and once Nagato was done with the 4th, he will come after him. This was a rather risky move, but a move they had to take. But it wasn't like they didn't have backup. A couple dozen white Zetsus on each side to cause chaos and havoc. They planned this out quite thoroughly. They were not going in stupid and blind. Konoha was gonna fall today, and the Akatsuki will get all of those tail pieces, and nothing will stop them. Minato leaped up as he landed on the roof. "Who are you?" he said. "Why have you stepped foot in my village?" "The 4th Hokage," the Yellow Flash. "It's an honor to meet you in person," said Tendo. "I would say likewise, but I don't know who you are. I'm afraid time is not right to give away names. Just to bring forward pain." "What?" "I will let this village experience what I did as well. I will let this village know pain. Experience pain." Minato pulled a kunai as he launched it upwards, but pain blasted away. Minato was surprised. What was that? It was then that he focused as he noticed the eyes. It can't be. Feel pain, and then you will understand pain. Meaning to pull another kuna, but it was too late. Almighty. Push! It was a normal day, as Yuchito and Naruto was still in bed. After all, it wasn't that late. It was then that Naruto felt it. As Naruto looked out. What the hell? He put on his pants in a flash and moved. He rocketed through the house, throwing open doors, tearing through the front door, literally. As he leaped to see the mass of destruction, Naruto held out both of his hands, released that gravitational force to cancel out this one. The two colliding forces clashed together. The onslaught was devastating, but Naruto managed to push and dissipate the massive attack before it could reduce everything around it to dust. But a large section of the village was wiped away, especially in the center. Minato flashed right in the house. As the man was surprised, as he was holding on to the three envoys that were around him, he only had time to grab onto them and flash them away. He moved out of the house as he saw Naruto standing there. What the hell is going on? Said Naruto. It was then that several poofs could be seen as wild animals started running through the village. Chaos started to explode all over. This again, said Naruto as he realized the village was being invaded. He was wearing his pants but no shirt as he took off. A gold cloak appeared around him as it materialized into a literal golden cloak protecting his upper half. The wind blowing it back as he landed right into the epicenter of chaos. Naruto stopped when he noticed the eyes. The Rinnegan, he said. You know these eyes, said Tendo as he looked at him. The summoning path landed, as he summoned the other paths around him, the rest of them coming in close. This was not a fight to spread thing. They had to face several difficult forces here. As Naruto glanced up to see a woman with wings, looking down towards him, as she split herself into several different copies. He could feel the others arriving. Why? Why do this? Said Naruto. As he closed his eyes, do you know how much people you have killed? That does not matter to me. For what I seek you possess. And this is the only way. Through destruction there will be peace. What are you talking about? Said Naruto. Someone like you can never understand or comprehend what I seek to see. I will give you a chance. Surrender yourself. Or you will be forced to go through undescribable horrors. It seems like you don't understand what is going on here, said Naruto. As Naruto had to step back as a sword whipped past his face. Several members in black cloaks, several of them grinning. It was the Akatsuki. As they arrived on said scene, nah kid, you're the one that don't understand what is going on. We're here for you, and we're not leaving without you. As Naruto looked at all of them, the numbers, he said. Screw that they're unfair, said Hidan. We heard that you were quite powerful, so we're going to be taking you out as a group. Oh, I'm not worried about me, said Naruto. You're going to need more than this to take me down. And none of you are leaving here alive. Did you really expect to step in my home and kill my people? And just leave like that? You people, always out to start something, monsters, who always bring forth destruction, I should know. What are you babbling about, said Kisame. As Naruto looked the man dead in the eyes. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill all of you. None of you will leave this place. None of you will go back home. Remember, you started this. I wanted none of this, but you people, you always keep on pushing until someone finally snaps. Stepping into this village and slaughtering so much. For what? Power? And you try to sensify this goal for some meaningless justice that you have. You do not Shut up about pain, said Naruto. I don't care about your pain anymore. As I said, I only want to protect my friends and family. I've been through enough wars to know that there can never be true peace. There can only be a deterrent that can keep the peace, but even that doesn't last. But look what you've done. You've shown no mercy to these people, so I will show none as well. It was then that several chakra signatures started to flash in, as Remy appeared. Sasuke appeared next. Menma, Mito appeared. The looks on their face, they were livid. You didn't think this through, did you? Said Menma. As the group was surrounded, as the 6 paths of pain stood there, including the Akatsukis, a yellow flash was tearing through the village, eviscerating the Zetsu members. But Minato did not need to worry because his village will handle this. He had trust in his subordinates. That is when someone landed in front of them. As he leaped over here, now who the hell is this, Naruto wondered. The man was covered in all bandages. He went through handstand before he slammed his hand on the ground, as several coffins rose up, a distance away. Yes, everything is going perfectly. A hooded figure said. In front of him was the masked man. Now on to phase 2, the masked man said as he stuck himself away. Remember, the child must not die. He has what we seek. Of course. The voice of Kabuto said, who was now the leader of his own village. So ninjas started to rush into Konoha. As they came through the Fire Nation making their way, they were not directly in the village, but they were coming through the Fire Nation. This was a big attack. Konoha was going to be crushed. That was their intention. This time they will not lose. This time they have backup more than enough. And these ninjas that came out of the coffins were not ordinary. Kage level ninjas that stepped forward. Deadly ninjas that seek to bring the utter destruction of the village of the Hidden Leaf. As Naruto looked around him, all this fighting, all this chaos, he would end it all. As Yujito landed beside him. What? Thought you were gonna do this without me, she said, as she extended her claws. But guys, be in subscribe right here. If you want next parts, and do like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notifications to be posted. Remember, share to all of your friends to social media platform. But more for now, see you guys soon. Peace.